Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at Latias Prism Star. Now, admittedly, this video is coming a little bit late. Probably should have done this video yesterday. Yesterday, my daughter was born. I was somewhat indisposed. I was just a little bit distracted. I have no regrets, and of course, all the news that came out over the last day or two, you will get good, high-quality videos like you always do on this channel. I will catch up with them, but you know, daughter kind of takes priority, especially on her actual birthday. As a side note, with Latias Prism Star being revealed on her actual birthday, tried to convince the wife, hey, maybe we put Latias as a second middle name. It got no traction whatsoever. Though well wishes will of course be welcome in the comment section, because you know, we're both quite delighted about the whole thing. So Latias Prism Star has been translated by the lovely David Hochmann, Mr. RappelmannTCG himself, and I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this is a great card. Now, I have had about 4 hours sleep in 2 days, so maybe I'm a little bit delirious, but honestly, I look at this card and I just think not only is it great, but also it's going to make Rayquaza GX that we looked at just the other day even better. And also, could anyone out there actually tell Latias and Latios apart? Now, starting off, it is a dragon Pokemon. Little bit of a shame you're not hitting anything for weakness, but Devoured Field will allow you to hit for an extra 10 damage. Could be relevant. In terms of Zinnia seems quite good because it means that when one of your Pokemon gets KO'd, you can attach 2 energy from your hand to one of your dragon Pokemon. Seems pretty good, and it is, but it's not for this particular Pokemon. It's not going to be particularly good for Latias. Sorry about that. You are weak to Fairy, which means Gardevoir will have a field day, but you've got 130 HP. 130 HP is absolutely huge. It means Zoroark will not get a one-hit KO, normally speaking, nor will Golisopod, nor will Silvally, which, as the video I mentioned yesterday, could well end up coming back and becoming good again, nor will Dedenne, which does hit for 60 for a double colorless if you've got a lightning Pokemon on your bench. With weakness goes to 120, but you've got 130. 130 is A-okay. So actually, even though the weakness isn't amazing, you are completely and utterly saved by having 130 HP. Alright, it's a fair bit lower than Solgaleo Prism Star, but it's just good enough, ladies and gentlemen, and that's all we're really after. Retreat cost to 1 is brilliant because generally speaking, you are going to want to retreat this, and you are going to have 1 energy on there to use the attack, so retreat cost of 1 works very nicely indeed. But it is the ability here that makes this such a gosh darned wonderful Pokemon, and according to David, it does 30 damage for 1 colorless energy. Okay, we don't need David for that, we can clearly see that from the card. But it says that you attach a basic energy from your discard pile to each of your benched basic dragon Pokemon, i.e. only to dragon Pokemon, only to basic Pokemon, and you don't get to put an extra energy on Latias. Not that you'd necessarily particularly want to, but you can't anyway. First things first, does 30 damage. If you were hitting for weakness, think something like a Registeel coming up against a Ralts, or a Mew having a face down, I don't know, an Espeon GX. There would be a nice easy one-hit KO, but that's not happening here because, as previously mentioned, Dragon hits nothing for weakness. So you're just doing 30 damage. 30 damage is fine. It's kind of like a choice band, I suppose. You get an extra 30 damage onto a particular Pokemon. It's not particularly good. But we're not loving this for the 30 damage. We are loving it for the energy acceleration. And let's be really clear about this. We are loving it for the energy acceleration. It is an absolutely phenomenal version of energy acceleration. Now, when you compare this to similar kinds of Pokemon, you've got Volcanion. Baby Volcanion, hey Nick, 20 damage, 2 energy to the bench. Evil Tau, 30 damage, 1 energy to the bench. The previously mentioned Registeel, 30 damage, 1 energy to the bench. This is 30 damage and up to 6 energy to the bench. It is significantly better than any of these other little Pokemon we're using to accelerate energy. But then again, it should be, because it's a Prism Star Pokemon, and we expect Prism Star Pokemon to be better than regular Pokemon, because of course you can only have one of them in your deck, and when it gets discarded, it goes straight to the lost zone, it never hits your discard pile. So we do expect it to be good, and it is over the top good. I mean, if we compare this to a similar Pokemon from Dragonstorm, for instance, we can see Drampa, which for 1 colorless energy does 20 damage, and attaches a basic energy from your discard to one of your dragon Pokemon, not 1 basic energy to each of your bench dragon Pokemon. Although to be clear, Drampas do any dragon Pokemon, and Latias is only 2 basic Pokemon. Now, if you were to use something like a Lance Prism Star, for instance, to go and get yourself a bunch of Dragonite GXs, this would be pointless because Dragonite GX isn't a basic dragon. But that's absolutely fine because, and stop me if I haven't made this clear enough already, Rayquaza GX is over the top nuts good. I don't mean Rayquaza GX is a little bit good. I did 2 videos on this, one rumour when I was fairly sure about what it did, and then one when it was confirmed I was right with the image and all of that. I think Rayquaza GX is a phenomenal card, and I expect to see it do very well at the World Championships, where it will be legal. It does, for free energy, 30 damage for each basic grass and lightning attached to all of your Pokemon. So using Latias here, you can get, now in theory you can get an extra 6 energy on the field, but let's face it, you're going to have a Tapu Lele out almost certainly, and then you're probably going to have an Oranguru or an Octillery out, so let's not pretend we're going to have 6 benched basic dragon. Let's say, far more conservatively, we're going to have 4 benched basic dragon. That's an extra 4 energy, or in Rayquaza terms, that's an extra 120 damage. And then, of course, you might be thinking, yeah, Ross, that's all well and good, but how are we supposed to get all of this energy into the discard? And if you're going second, really you want it in the discard turn 1, so you can go second, attack on your first turn, going second, and accelerate all this energy with Latias. Well, Rayquaza's got 2 options. The best option, because you can then attack with Latias on your first turn, is the ability. When you bench Rayquaza, you can discard the top 3 cards of your deck and then attach a basic energy from your discard to Rayquaza. And as a side note, it is confirmed that it is attached to Rayquaza, as I suggested in my video. Wasn't confirmed before, is confirmed now. But then, of course, if you can discard 2 energy here, you attach 1 to Rayquaza with the ability, and then there's an energy hanging there, ready to be attached with Latias. We've been seeing in Duskmane Necrozma decks, and I did do a video about this very recently, because I just got top 4 at 2 League Cups playing this. Discarding the energy early game with Duskmane Necrozma, then accelerating it with Solgaleo Prism Star is an absolutely viable strategy, which will work and will win you games. The thing is, with Solgaleo Prism Star, your opponent can just leave their bench really low, and then you can't accelerate as much energy as you want to. Whereas with Latias, you are the determinant of how much energy you get to accelerate. However many basic dragon you have on the bench, that's how much energy you get. That is starting to sound pretty good to me. Now let's be clear, Latias is not just for Rayquaza GX, although I do believe it is the best use we've got at the moment, and I believe it is a phenomenal card which will make Rayquaza GX even better than I said before. But any dragon deck you play from now on, you're just putting a Latias Prism Star in there. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. Amazing starter, brilliant energy acceleration, and I love this because this is exactly the kind of Prism Star card I want. A card which is over the top good, But it's a Prism Star, so you use it once and then it's gone and that's it, and you can't have it anymore. This is a phenomenal card, and it's a very easy 5 Wassies from me. Firstly, it gets 5 Wassies because it is an automatic inclusion in any Dragon deck from now until it rotates. And secondly, it's a 5 Wassie card because when I looked at Rayquaza before, I suggested using stuff like Arceus, for instance. Arceus Prism Star. Well, this blows Arceus Prism Star out the water, and a lot of people suggested using Vikavolt. Well, you can still use Vikavolt, but a combination of Latias and Rayquaza's ability and Max Elixir is starting to look a lot more consistent than using Vikavolt. I think this is a phenomenal card, and I think it's going to see a huge amount of play. Start getting worried about Rayquaza GX, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be phenomenal. Or start planning to play it. Now, you know the deal, ladies and gentlemen. I would like some likes and some comments down here. I'd like you to subscribe if you haven't already. Bearing in mind, Wassie is recording this sleep-deprived as soon as I can after a major life event. If that's not worth a like, I don't know what is. And of course, well wishes in the comments if you wish to. You don't have to. And do let me know if you believe that this card is as good as I have made out. I personally think it is. Do make sure that you follow me on Twitter at The Wassie and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. And a reminder that PTCG Radio is a podcast on iTunes. I keep forgetting to say that. Do make sure if you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.